Hi everybody, my name is Connie and I'm going to show you today how to change a coloring book photo that you have downloaded from the internet and you want to use in your Bible journaling and change that to a PNG, which is a transparent image that has a transparent background, so it's easier for you to use to trace images to use in your Bible journaling. And what you're seeing on the screen now is a page that I created for the book of Genesis, and this is called Bible journaling. And if you don't know what that is, you can do a search for that on Google and or YouTube, and you'll get a lot of information. Um, I've just recently started with Bible journaling, and this is my uh, journaling Bible, New King James Version, that I picked up from Family Christian Bookstore. And usually a journaling Bible will have this wide margin on the right with the text in the middle, and sometimes they'll have lines. Mine has lines, but they're very faint, and as you can see, it really doesn't interfere with what I put over those lines. So let me get down to telling you about using paint.net. So I have dual screens, so what you'll do is you'll see me drag a screen over to where this software, Cam Studio software that I'm taping this with, so that I can show you things. So you'll see me drag some things over. So to get paint.net, you just bring up Google and just type here in the search box paint.net, and this window will come up, and it's you could click on the first one, but it's this second one right here where it says paint.net free software. You click on that, and it'll bring up the paint.net page, and then just right here at the top it says get it now, free download, paint.net, and then you just click on that, and that will bring up um, the screen for you to download the the program. Sorry, my mind is not working here. So anyway, once you do that, then you'll have a little icon on your desktop, and I can't show you the icon because I'm taping this particular window. So if I get rid of this window, you won't be able to see my desktop, but you'll have a little icon on your desktop. And so I'll go into and show you that in a minute when that comes up, what that looks like. First of all, I want to show you what the reason behind and why you need a PNG when you do some of these files and some of these pictures. So if I bring up my Microsoft Office Word document, and I'm going to make a document here, something that I can print on my printer and then lay under my very thin Bible page so that I can trace something to use in my journaling and then color it with whatever media I want to use, like coloring pencils or the new gelatos or anything. Um, and so I have to first make my image. So I'm going to I'm going to go up here and say insert picture, and I'm going to go to a file where I keep my what are called digistamps, and they're just digital images and they're black and white. So I'm going to go down here and open up this image of this little bench. Now this bench, I have it not a PNG, but I do have it as a PNG. So I'm just going to open it up as a PNG, and it's going to bring it into my document. Now I can't move this document on the page until I right click and go under text wrapping and then say in front of text, and then that way I can move my picture down wherever I need it, and that will help you in certain situations. So you do need to move the picture around if you want to add words and stuff, because you don't want your picture in front of your words. So now I'm going to open up, I want this little girl to be sitting on this bench, and so I'm going to say insert picture, and I'm going to go to the picture that of this little girl, Balloon Emma, and she's a JPEG. I've changed her into a PNG, but I just want to show you what this looks like. So I right click on it first and say text wrapping and say in front of text so that I can move her around. But what you'll see is um, she has this white border around her, and so I can't really sit her on the bench because she hides the bench. So she needs to be a PNG. So let me just delete that picture, and then I'll go back and insert the one that I have already changed her into a PNG with the paint.net free app, free program, and I'll open her up, and I don't know why she comes in so little, but anyway, open her up, and I still have to right click and say text wrapping and say in front of text, so I can move her around. But you'll notice that now as I move her around, I can resize her, and I can actually just sit her on the bench where I want her to be. And that white around the edge is not keeping me from putting her on the bench, and you can see the bench. And then that way I can use this picture and print it, come up with a print preview and print that and hold that under my page if I wanted to use her, let's say, on a Bible page. So that's what we're doing, is we're taking that white background off of something so that you can use it in your tracing. So I'm going to come back to this page here, and what I have done, I'm going to open up a file, and I'm just going to go under recent items, and I've made a file called Bible Journaling Docs, or document. And what I have done is I have made this box, and this is the size of the little border on the edge of my Bible. And it took a little bit of doing, but I printed this off a couple of times to sort of know that when I put this edge in the seam of my Bible, that this little square or rectangle here would lay directly under that column on my Bible, so that when I put art in here and I print this page, then I'm going to put it in my Bible, and it's going to be directly where it needs to be for me to trace. And so that's just helped me. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm doing the books of the Bible. So I'm going to open up, I'm going to say insert picture. And then I'm going to go in here, and let me just see where, because I've forgotten sometimes where I put my stuff. Okay, so under Bible art, and what you'll see is you'll see all these coloring book pictures where I have found pictures of most of the books of the Bible. Not all of them, but most of them. And most of them are really simple and they're easy to do. So like if I go down here to, let me go down here to and just show you the Genesis. If I can find the Genesis, and I'm sorry, I should have looked at this ahead of time to make it easier, and y'all are probably watching me and saying, oh, you already passed the Genesis. So let me see, it's not that Genesis, and I want to bring up Genesis because I know that that one was an easy one, and I apologize for being so slow. Just sort of trying to scroll. Okay, here it is. I'm sorry. So this is the Genesis, and I'm going to say insert, and then I have to right click and say text wrapping in front of text so that I can resize this. And then what I do is I'll turn this around so that I can put it in this rectangle. But as you can see, it's going on top of there, and so it's not see-through, and it needs to be see-through. So let me first show you this easy one so that you'll know how easy it is to do this with Paint.net. So I'm going to open my Paint.net program, and maybe when I minimize this you'll see. I don't think so, but anyway, it's a little icon on my desktop, and I'm just going to double click and open that up. I'll bring this up on top of it because, like I said, I'm not sure if this is taping it or not. So this is the program when it's opened up. This is exactly, after you download it, what it looks like. And up here where it says hardness, usually that is at, I think at the just regular thing that it'll say will be 50%. And that's like the tolerance level for making the background. I don't know how to explain all that hardness and tolerance, but you'll see as you see me work with it. So all I'm going to do in here is I'm going to come up here and I can say File and Open, or this little folder that says, looks like it's open, I can click on that and say Open. And then I'm going to come in here and choose the file that I want to work with. And so, of course, again, I had to find the Genesis file because that was an easier one. And of course, again, I'm looking for it, and it's like my eyes are just not finding it, and I found it really easy a while ago. There's Genesis. Here it is. Okay, Genesis. So I'm going to open up this file. So you can also, so it's really small, but I can say view and zoom in. We'll zoom in a little bit more so that we can see it. So all you have to do is come over here to the left, and there's a little magic wand here. I don't know why this paintbrush is automatically selected, but just choose that magic wand, and it'll change your cursor into this little, looks like a little wand with a plus at the end of it. And I'm just going to left click once, and what that does is it chooses the background. But you can see that it just chose the top of this Genesis. And so I'm going to hold my control key on my keyboard and come down here, and then now you'll see the wand with the little plus sign and then a tinier little plus sign, and that's going to let me choose another part of the picture. So I'm going to click and choose that too. And so for this particular one, I don't have to do anything else to it, and I'll show you a harder one in a minute so that when you come upon that you'll know what to do. But all I have to do is hit delete on my keyboard, and then that's going to change the background into this monochrome like checkerboard, and that tells you that it's made that background transparent. So then the next thing you have to do is just come up here to the top and say file and say save as, and then a box is going to come up where it's asking you where you want to save the file. So down here, I'm just gonna, it's got this long word, and I'm just gonna just name it test. I'll just name it test Genesis. I won't capitalize anything. And then I just say save. But before you click save, you'll see right down here that it's a JPEG. You have to change that with the drop down menu to a PNG. And then when you change that to a PNG, it'll add that PNG at the end of your what you've named it, and then you just click save. Then when you do that within the paint.net program, it will come up with this box, and these are just the defaults. And so you don't have to do anything unless you know more stuff about dithering and transparency, but you don't have to do anything. Just leave it just like that, and then you just say, oh, okay. And so I'm just going to come down, just minimize this screen. I'm going to open up, back up my, I don't know if I closed that out or not. Let me see. If I might have closed it out. So I'm just going to, let's just open up my Bible journaling document again. I must have closed that out. So I'm going to say insert picture. And remember before we chose that Genesis file and it had that white around it so we couldn't use it. So I think I saved my new Genesis, the test Genesis in here is the test Genesis PNG. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to say insert. You still have to right click, say text wrapping, say in front of text, and then I'm going to drag that and make it bigger. And now you can see when I make it bigger that it doesn't have that white background around it anymore. And I think I remember I had a hard time getting this straight before. But now I can just sort of like come in here and drag it and make it the size that I want it. And I can see that it's within where I want to make it for my page. And there's none of that other white box or anything. And then I could just go into my print and print this out. And I'm ready to go and lay it under my Bible page. So let's just X out of this. I can open that up again. I'm not going to save the changes. And so here is a picture of, and I'm hoping that you can see all this. This is just the black and white image and how it printed out. And then you can see the paper down here, and I've got it attached with washi tape so that doesn't tear your Bible pages. And I just have it slipped under my Bible page. And this is after I have already traced it with my micron pen before I colored it. So that's what you end up with. So that's basically all it is. It's just very, very simple. So let me now show you a harder image. I'm going to open up my Bible journaling document again, and I'm going to say insert picture. And I know, let me go to E. Well, no, I don't want to go to my Digistamps. Let me just go to my pictures and my Bible art. And I know from testing before when I did another one. Let me come. Daniel. That it was a harder one. So let me insert Daniel. Right click. And before I right click, that's why it moves my rectangle, because it's behind. I think it's behind, maybe behind the text. So you choose in front of text, and then everything looks the same in your document. But you can see when I make it big, it's got that white around it, and so it's not going to be good for turning and making my document. It needs to be, that background needs to be clear. So I need to change this JPEG image into a PNG image. So I'm going to delete that one out. Open up my paint.net again, or my paint.net. Let's see. Go in here under recent items. I don't think it's going to open it up that way. Let me just go to my desktop. And like I said, I don't know. I don't think you're going to really be seeing this now. But let me just open up my paint.net program. Okay, so the Genesis is still in here. I'm just going to say new, and just say OK, and then it gives me this blank page again. And then I'm going to go up here and open the image. I need to go back to my Bible Art folder, and I'm going to find the Daniel JPEG or JPG. I'm going to open it. Okay, and then here it comes in, and I'm gonna go ahead and say view and say zoom in, because I know I'm going to need it to be a little bigger in a minute. So this is a little bit harder one, because it's not just going to have two areas where you need to make the background transparent. So I've already got the magic wand selected, and I'm just going to click on the background, and you can see that it just chose just part of it. And I can hold down my control button, and on these bigger areas I can click, and so when I click that left part over here, it chose this, and then it chose, you can see all the blue down here. It chose all this, but it didn't choose this area right beneath his front paw and his back paw right here, and then the little parts in between the A and the D, and there's a little part in the I over here, which I don't, that really doesn't matter, but anyway, it didn't choose everything. So with these bigger areas, when I hold my control key and click to go right there and go in here, that works fine. So then I'm going to keep my control selected and try to get this little part of the A, and that worked fine. And then I'm going to try to get this little part of the A right here, and you can see when I did that, it made the whole A go away, and so we don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to up at the top, there's an undo button, a blue arrow, and I'm just going to undo that last part there. So before I try to choose anything littler, while everything is chosen that looks good, I'm just going to hit the delete key on my keyboard, and then it's going to change the background to that monochrome checkerboard, gray and white checkerboard. But I still need to choose right here, this A right here, this A, and this D right here, this middle part of this D right here needs to be chosen. So I'm going to come down here with my little tool, click that little A part, and you can see it chooses it easily now. I'm going to hit the control, hold the control key on my keyboard down, and hit this part here of the D. And I'm trying to think, I think that's what I can't remember if that's what I choose or not. Let me see. It might be. I think it's this. I don't know if it's that and that. Hit delete. Nope, it's not. It's just because you want that little white part. So I'm gonna. It had been a while since I made this. I don't remember what I did, but yeah, you want that little white part right there in the middle of that D. So it's this part. So anyway, I'm going to hit Control again, come over to this A, and it's not. You can see that it's not letting me. Let me go back to where I've not done anything, so I can show you. So while that little part of the A is chosen, I'm going to hold the Control button again and choose just this part. And so now it has that part of the D and that part of the A, and I'm just going to hit delete on my keyboard. And now over here, there's these little circles. Um, you really don't have to do those little circles, but if you think that you're uh, that should be transparent, you can also choose those little circles. That middle little circle was pretty easy to do. Um, I actually remember, I think, all these little circles, and so every time I clicked one of those little circles, I just hit the delete key, and so it made it transparent. So I'm just going to leave it as it is because we're just testing this, and I'm going to come up here to the top again and say File, Save As, go into my Bible journal, and I'm going to name this one Test Daniel. And then just have to remember to drop down this box where it's saving as a JPEG, and you want to save it as a PNG. I'm going to click Save. This box is automatically going to come up, and like I said before, these are the defaults. Just say OK, because that's fine. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to come back to my Bible journaling document. I'm going to say Insert Picture, and then we're going to go in here and choose the Test Daniel PNG that I've made. Right click and say Text Wrapping, say in front of text, so that you can move it around. And now you'll see that it's transparent background, and I can work with it really easily and put this in here. You can just do this little bounding box to make it straight, and I can drag and make this as big as I want, as I think that it'll fit on my Bible page. And with working with this, I know that this will fit. And so then when that's where you like it, you just save that file, and then if I go up here and I say Print Preview, it's going to bring this preview box up, and that might be too big for you to see it, but anyway, it'll bring that up so you can see exactly what's going to print, and then you just print that off, and you just go back in there and you lay that under your Bible, so that you can, it'll be black and white. It's very easy to see because the Bible pages are really thin. And that's basically the gist of it. That's how you make the coloring book pictures that you get off the internet have a background that's clear, so that you can use them in your Bible journaling or your card making or anything else that you might need something to be clear for. And I hope that this really helped you. I'm sorry if it went a little too long, and I'm sorry if I talk too fast, because I know I do talk fast. But enjoy yourself and have fun in your Bible journaling, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you so much for watching.